Alright. Yumiko versus Foggy. On Concealed Hill, Yumiko is the human player on the top right side of the map. Foggy is the Night Elf player on the bottom left side of the map, opening with the Ancient War creeping here. Of course, the creeping for the Night Elf is always faster, because you can start creeping before the hero comes out. So when the keeper spawns here, this creep camp will almost be finished already. While with the Archmage you need a little bit more time to finish this camp with the militia, unless you decide to go for the fast expansion, which of course implies a totally different creep route. So let's see if Yumiko is going to expand or if he's going to do the standard creep route, which is the Ogre Warrior level 3. Then you go for the Crab Limp Reaper to get level 2 and possibly the Tome of Experience, and at the same time you should be creeping this camp with militia to get the Giant Sea Turtle level 4, because you don't need the Archmage to creep this camp. You do need the Archmage to creep the Ogre Warrior, but you don't need the Archmage to creep the Giant Sea Turtle. You can do that with militia only. So Yumiko finding the claws here. Foggy with the Circlet of Nobility. And then the human is moving straight away towards the Crab Limp Reaper, but of course the Night Elf is going to be a little bit faster because of the Ancient of War creeping. So this camp is going to be contested by both players, and at this time the human should be creeping this camp here. He's not doing that. And I feel like that's a mistake. Of course, the advantage of not using the militia again is that you will have more wood. He's got 206 wood, so the attack will be faster. That's for sure. But now that the attack has started, you can definitely go straight away and creep the Giant Sea Turtle and you will be level 2. But looks like Yumiko is choosing not to do that. So he's gonna be banking more wood. But the trade is that it's gonna be lower level. It's gonna be level 1 for a lot of time. And now Foggy is using the fountain here for a little bit more healing. For a little bit of healing. And yeah, so you can't really trade with a level 1 Archmage. You don't even have Brilliance. The mana regenerates so slow. It doesn't have boots, it doesn't have dust. He's doing a good job keeping the Archmage out of range from the Keeper. But even with the close, there's not much you can do. Now Foggy is awakening the creeps here to put more damage into this Archmage, even going for a block. But the creeps are now attacking the Water Elemental. In the meanwhile, we see the tech for Yumiko almost halfway done. Foggy just a little bit ahead, but almost the same. Nice wisp. A wisp spread on two different sides of the map, two different angles, so you can see the movement here. You can get the alchemist from the tavern. You can see if Yumiko is going for an expansion, maybe a tier 2 expansion or something. And Keeper is still level 1 with the boots of speed, no staff. And the alchemist is moving towards the shop to get the boots of speed and the dust. Oh, and he's going for defend. That's weird. I mean, defend is very good now after it's back to its former, almost its former power. I'm not sure if it's better than the original defend. I mean, the defend of patch 1.28, but it's certainly better than the defend of patch 1.30, when the first big patch that nerfed the footman defend. Now it's been made a little bit more powerful again, so now it actually works versus archers. So with defend, you should be able to trade a lot better against those foodies. So instead of prioritizing the level 2 for the Archmage, he's choosing to prioritize the wood And of course, if you have more wood, you're gonna be able to research the defend upgrade, which is extremely costly in terms of wood resources. But I still think that getting the level 3 Archmage faster is better. So you're gonna have less wood, but you're gonna have the level 2 water elementals, which are so good at this stage of the game. Because we don't have a single Dryad yet, the lores are not up, and Foggy is rushing to tier 3 actually. So he got the Alchemist, he's now rushing to tier 3. So this means he's going for fast mountain giants. And Yumiko is opening with the Adept upgrade for the Priest. So he's researching the upgrade before the Priest, I like that. Because the Priest without the upgrade is useless in this matchup. I mean, it's useful for creeping, but since he's being aggressive and he's not really creeping, you don't need the Priest right now. You only need it for Dispel, so I think it's the right choice to go for the Adept upgrade first. But Foggy got the item here at the red camp, that's big. The item itself, it's not good. He got the Medallion of Courage, which is one of the worst items you can get there.
Research complete.
I don't remember if you can also get the Crystal Ball here, but if you can, then the Crystal Ball is gonna be the worst item. But the Medallion of Courage is also very bad. I mean, here you can get the Resistance for which is the amazing item. So, and now he's finally calling the militia, going for the rock golem here. It's going to be level 3 for the Archmage, unless he shares the experience with the paladin. Alright, Archmage is gonna get level 3. And he's going Brilliance level 2, I like that. I like that. You need mana, you don't really need water elementals against mountain giants that don't do anything. You need the mana for the paladin, you need to be able to spam those holy lights, and even though Brilliance level 2 doesn't really do too much, it's still better, much better than the level 1. Ideally you want to have Brilliance level 3. With Brilliance level 3 you can do a lot, you almost have endless mana, so the goal should be Archmage level 5 with Brilliance level 3 in this matchup. It's so good for the casters, for the dispels, for the healing, for the inner fire, you need that. Paladin gets the greater mana. He got the greater mana here, I mean, at the laboratory. Perfect item. Foggy is going for the laboratory as well, and he gets the greater healing, pretty good item as well, for the alchemist. But this creep check is going to be nasty. This alchemist could have been surrounded, but Yumiko didn't go for that. Nonetheless, the focus fire was too much, and so the big item has already been used, so very bad creep check for Foggy. He lost the item, he loses the experience from the trolls, and he loses the Ancient Aware, so no more archers for him. He has to rebuild immediately. But we do have 2 mountain giants now with 1 defense upgrade. Yumiko is at 50, Foggy is still only at 44. But now researching the hardened skin, and once this upgrade is on the field, it's gonna be extremely difficult for Yumiko to kill anything really. Now he's going for the level 3 paladin. This camp is going to give him the level. Water elementals, keep in mind, only level 1, so they don't do anything. They just die. But with mass rifles, with the healing from the priest, it's an easy creep camp. But Foggy is doing the same, losing no time. Going for the level 3 alchemist. And with 5 archers, he should be easily creeping this camp. Level 3 for the paladin as well. And I really like this lumber mill with the tower, so preparing from some possible Zeppelin drops. But we have no dryads, so usually we see this kind of cheesy play with dryads, mass dryads, Zeppelin drops into your main. Foggy is doing a different strategy this game. Workshop for Yumiko for the frag shards, the mortar teams. And now he's going to cancel the expansion, but his army is not in position. And of course there's Holy Light, so this entangle won't do too much, and he's cancelling it. So good job scouting this. Good job by Yumiko scouting this expansion, cancelling it. Buying more time for his tier 3, you want to have inner fire and mortars with frag shards. And you also want to have upgrades on rifles, but you don't. It doesn't have them. So I don't know if he's going to. I don't think he's going to be staying on rifles because he doesn't have the upgrades. That's a good indication. If you see the rifles 2-0, it means he's gonna commit on rifles. Because at this point, when you invest the wood and the gold into getting 2 upgrades for the rifles, then the logical consequence is to just go for the 3-0 upgrade, inner fire, and just mass rifles and mortars, and they share the same upgrade, so you're gonna have insane damage. But since he's not researching the upgrade, I'm assuming he's going to be transitioning into knights. Yeah, so he's getting the animal war training, is getting knights. And I don't know if it's the best choice here, because knights are good in good numbers. So if you have 5 or 6 of them, or even just 4. 4 I feel like is the limit. You need to have at least 4 of them with 2-0 upgrades to have decent damage. If you have only 2 knights, they don't do anything. It's better to have mass rifles with inner fire and 3-0 or 2-0 upgrades. So Foggy is pushing just to buy time for the expansion that he's rebuilding here. But keep in mind, this camp is not cracked yet. So it's not like he can just expand. He needs to go back and creep it, and it's a tough camp. Archmage still only level 3. First mortars on the field, first mortar. As we see the Bloodmage third. Alright. So there's a Bloodmage to suck up a little bit of mana from the Keeper, from the Alchemist, and give it to the Paladin, most likely. Because the Archmage is only useful for the Brilliance Aura, so he doesn't really need mana. He's not using these spells. Yeah, he's summoning the Water Elementals, since there are no Dryads, so it's still good damage. But the army for Yumiko is very big. 73 foot versus 60 foot only for Foggy, but alright, these are not 5 mountain giants. There is no way he's got 5 mountain giants. There must be illusions. Yes, they are. They get dispelled, so he has 3 mountain giants. But how many in production? 2 of them in production, alright. That's a good fight. Possibly a good fight for Yumiko. He's got inner fire, he's got 2 knights, he's got 5 rifles, 1 sorceress for the slow. I don't know if the mountain giants have resistance skin. You can see that slow is being applied right now. Let's see how long it lasts. I'm not sure, it doesn't last for too long. Yeah. I think they have resistance skin. Anyways, Foggy is pulling the wisps to cancel the mana. Like I said before, Brilliant Aura level 2 is not that great. So these casters, they're not full mana. It's not like they can spam the inner fire forever. Look at the priest. This one has decent mana. This one half mana. This one is out of mana. Only 3 priests. Because he's kinda heavy on Sorks. He's got 2 of them. 2 mortars only. I feel like 3 mortars maybe would be a little bit better. You could snipe this 3 easily. Could have more damage against the archers. And what I'm noticing here is the lack of the upgrades on the mortars, the lack of the upgrade of the rifles. The damage is not high. So he's not losing anything thanks to the paladin, but he's not also not doing any damage. Normally, with 3-4 mortars on the back and the frag shards, you can just shred those archers. But in this game, that's not the case. So Bloodmage is now exposed and falls to the entangle. The holy light didn't come in time. But everything else is still alive for Yumiko. The mountain giants are all dropping low. Another entangle is gonna find another night kill, as the entangle lasts forever and doesn't get dispelled. But we don't have Moonjoys, so that's important. Foggy is not allowed to lose any mountain giants, and this Moonjoys is not looking good. And it's still daytime for a long time. However, Yumiko needs to regenerate mana. He needs to regenerate HP. He's gonna lose another rifle. So he needs to kite, he needs to hold on. Can't afford to lose one more rifle, but he does. Alright. However, he's got 3 knights now. He's calling Mass Militia, and the 4th knight is gonna be in production. So maybe if he reaches the critical number of like 5 or 6 knights. But Foggy is now using the fountain. And you don't want to fight against mountain giants who are backed up by the fountain. Also, for some reason he's not using the inner fire, I guess, to save some mana from the healing. Next wave of wisps detonating into all of the casters, all of the Sorks. Sorks totally out of mana. One more knight is falling. All of these peasants will die as well, or most of them at least. But of course they clean a lot of supply as well, as Yumiko doesn't really need the wood, and he manages to save 3 of them. So those 3 peasants should provide enough wood for what he needs, which is just basically building knights. And now he's got 3 knights on the field, with the 4th one that's just joining the army. Still all of the Sorks, 3 priests. Oh, but Foggy is flanking him from behind. The Bloodmage once again gets focused. If Foggy wakes up the creeps... Oh, the creeps got woken up. This is so bad for Yumiko. He's being flanked by 3 different angles by the mountain giants, the creeps, and then he's trapped between the base and the mountain giants. Alright, needs to... Oh! And this creep camp is still here, so now even the Tartars will attack him. Terrible position for Yumiko here. Loses 1 more knight. He's not really killing anything. The mortars are all low. Oh, he's gonna really lose 2 more knights. Loses another one, so it's already 2 knights gone. You don't want to lose those, they are so expensive. But it's not like Foggy does really have a lot of damage. Yumiko is just right-clicking the knights into the archers. It seems stupid, right? It seems like you want to put the damage into the mountain giants, but actually, by doing this, you are removing the damage from the Night Elf army. So, I don't know, it might be the right choice to go for the archers here, because... Look, archers obviously don't stand a chance against knights. So now, where's the damage for Foggy? It's only the Keeper. And as soon as the Keeper is out of mana, and he is, how is he gonna find those kills? Alchemist also out of mana, so the mountain giants don't die, but they also don't have any damage. So in the end, I really like that Yumiko decided to focus down those archers. It prioritized those archers, ignoring the mountain giants. And he still has 3 knights, with 1 more coming and 1 more in production. And I think he still has the gold to build 1 more after that, then he's gonna be out of gold. But 4 knights can do a lot. They're 1-1 with inner fire, so a total of 14 armor. They're very tanky. And the Paladin is taking care of them. The Blood Mage, where is the Blood Mage by the way? Alright, still only level 1. But this Blood Mage did a good job siphoning all the mana from the Keeper. Look, this Keeper is constantly out of mana because of the Blood Mage. And I believe I didn't see a single Treant in forever. What I'm noticing is the absolute lack of Treants. Keeper is getting surrounded here. Does he have a TP? Yes he does, but the Alchemist is also low. He needs to stab him, but it's TPing. And the Alchemist is falling. Big mistake by Foggy, needed to staff the Alchemist earlier. But of course it's not easy, because he had to manage many things. So he clicked on TP, forgot to staff the Alchemist before, maybe didn't calculate that. His damage output from the Knights is now very high, and Foggy leaves the game. Not an easy game for Yumiko by any means, especially when he got flanked by the creeps. But in the end he manages to get the win. GG.